Hey there, welcome back to Blender. In this lecture, let us start with how to make our object transparent. So to do this, again we will repeat our steps of adding material to our object. Now let us select the yellow shade. Let me have our rendered view also. Now to make our object transparent, all you have to do is scroll down in the properties window and you will find transparency. Check this box and you will find three types of transparencies, that is mask, Z transparency and ray trace. So we will be working with these both, as ray trace you will learn in advanced level of Blender. So for now let us test mask. What it does is it will make your object transparent as per the background. That is, it will look as if your object is immersed with the background. To show this, let me make change in this alpha value. 1 is the maximum alpha value. So now let us try with 0.5. You see, the shade of the object got transparent. Now let us have a look at Z transparency. And this works only with the object, that is, the color has become transparent now. I'll go back to mask and this is how it gets immersed in the background, and you can clearly see the difference between Z transparency and mask transparency. Mask transparency uses the background color to get immersed, and Z transparency will just make the object transparent. Now let us have a more change in alpha value. Suppose I make the alpha value 0. This happens, that is, the object becomes almost invisible. This is because the transparency is 0 and at 0 transparency you cannot see anything. So now let us make it as 0.1. Now at least in 0.1 alpha the object is slightly visible, and in mask it would look like this. So this is how we make our objects transparent in Blender. Now let us learn about emission. In emission, from the name itself you can get that the object will emit something, and in Blender by emission we mean light coming out of the object. Now for example, let me add one material to this. We will take red. Now let us make this render view. Now suppose I were to increase my emission, that is some amount of light coming from the object itself. Now the emission value is 0 here. In the shading menu you can see this. Click here and let us make it as 5. You see an emission of intensity 5 will be like this. Now what if I just delete my lamp from the scene, that is no light in the scene. You see, we can still see our object. It is because of the emission coming from the object. Now if I were to remove this emission, now we cannot see anything. It is because no light is coming from the object. Even if we add 0.1 emission, there is a slight amount of light coming out of the object, and this is how emission works. You can even experiment with ambiency and translucency and all these options here. Now have you ever wondered, what if I set my emission more than 100? This is what happens. When a huge amount of light comes from any object, it appears to be white. So our object, when it emits high amount of light, it looks of this color. Hope you got this lecture.